Ultimate Racing League, and welcome to a brand new season. Our Sunday Championship is getting underway, and this is the first race of this brand new season. And for this season I will be taking you through the races for the League of Champions. So this is the top tier in the Ultimate Racing League. This is where all the best drivers come to race. I was going to say come to die, but they don't die, they race. So this is all the best drivers that Ultimate Racing League has to offer. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Some fantastic drivers in this league. Now it's a bit mixed up this season. We've got a few sprint races and we've got one or two endurance races. The first race, as you can see, we are at the Suzaka circuit in Japan, and this one is a endurance race. It is 25 laps, roughly 50 minutes to an hour. So that's what this one is. Rules very simple for this race. Hard tyres have to be used for at least 2 laps. That's pretty much it. You can use softs, mediums, wets, inters, whatever you like, as long as the hard tyres are used for at least 2 laps. Oh, and one more note on tyres as well, that you cannot run a completely red tyre for more than 1 lap. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we go along. I'm sure the guys know the rules, and I'm even more sure the guys will abide by them. So as I say, we're at Suzaka, 3.6 miles, 18 turns, very famous track, especially on the F1 calendar. Oh, I don't know. Is it still on it? No, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's crack on with this one. We'll run down the grid, and we shall see who's racing. A few new names to me, I'm sure, but we shall see as we go along. So after qualifying, we've got Bailey in pole position. Callum came up from League One into the League of Champions this year, so Callum finds himself in 2nd position. Neil Farmack in 3rd, Smith in 4th, Osman in 5th, Toten 6th, Inky 7th, Moz in 8th, Seamus Cass in 9th, Fitzy is 10th, another one that came up, Paul in 11th, Toby 12th, Derg in 13th, Derg came up as well, and Kenny, I believe, came up as well in 14th, and then we've got Grasshopper down in 15th. So back up to our pole position guy Bailey. We'll get this race underway. We'll go through a few other bits and pieces as we go along. As you can see, it's a rolling start. I'm just going to do this camera angle just to see everybody get into the first corner as Bailey gets his foot down and takes us down towards turn 1. Aptly called first curve. So as we go through, everybody just lines up behind Bailey and we go through. Nice long train there into the S's for the first time. We shall have a rundown of the tyres as we go along. We've got quite a bit of time to examine the tyres. We'll go through some of the strategies as well. It's just me guessing. Obviously the guys have not told me what they're doing. So Bailey still out in front with Callum behind, Neil Farmack in 3rd, Smith in 4th, Osman in 5th, Toten in 6th, Inky 7th. Then we've got Moz, Fitzy, Paul, Toby, Derg in 12th, Kenny, Grasshopper and Seamus Cash. Oh, let's have a look, see what happened to Seamus Cash, because he was a lot further up than that. Oh, it was off the start. So we're going into turn 1. Seamus Cash in 9th. And he's just ran wide, and he's got his tyres onto the gravel. And quite rightly so, he's waited for everybody to go by before rejoining, so that's not the start that Seamus Cash wanted. He's on the racing soft, so he's going to be pushing them hard now, I'm sure, to try and catch back up. So back up to our race leader, Bailey, as he goes around the hairpin. He's got Callum all over the back of him. Callum virtually pushing Bailey along. I'm not sure Callum wants to overtake yet. You would have noticed as well that all the cars are the same. It is the Lexus RCF GT3. It's the 17 version. So it is almost a one make challenge. So all the cars are the same, so it really does come down to driver skill, as we see Callum getting a little bit of a slide going on there. Managed to hold it and recover though. So as they approach 130R for the first time, a very fast sweeping left-hander heading towards the chicane. Hard on the brakes just after the 100 board. Into that chicane, careful on the accelerator on the way out. We don't want to be spinning it, do we? Through the final turn. Everybody streaming through. Dirk up into 11th, Kenny 12th, then we've got Grasshopper, Seamus and Toby. So Toby's had a bit of a moment as well. And we can see it there, I think it was through 130R it was, he just went a bit wide. Oh, ouch, that's going to hurt. That's unlucky for Toby. I'm sure he won't be the first. As he tries to get himself sorted back onto it. He is on the hard tyres, damage at the front as well. So as I say at the beginning, you've got to do 2 laps on the hard tyres, and I'm sure that Toby will be coming in to get rid of them bloody things as soon as possible. So up to our race leader, still Bailey leading the pack. Callum still hot on his tail, with Neil Farmack in third, just trying to keep the pressure on. That's a great looking livery from Neil Farmack. The Coca-Cola, which made me thirsty. I want to drink already. I'm not quite sure what the theme is for the liveries yet. So answers in the comments if you do know. As we go down the pack, everybody's still pretty close, which is what we like to see. Some great close racing around the hairpin with Osman. Toten just behind, Toten as well with another great livery on that car. So now on to well, this corner, this part of the track is called 200R. They're very inventive, aren't they, with the names. Then on to the spoon curve. Foot planted firmly into the carpet, that car down the back straight. And on to 130R again. Incidentally, it's called 130R, and it really isn't very inventive. It is because it's a 130 metre sweeping left-hand bend, and that's about as technical as it gets. So it's called 130R because of the length of the diameter of the corner, 130 metres. And rumour has it that that's soon to be changed, and it's actually going to make that sweeping bend a lot longer. So we shall see. It'll be a shame because it will ruin the track, but I'm sure there are better men than me that come up with these things. So everybody still snaking through. Bailey still out in front with Callum and Neil Farmack following him. Fitzy down in 8th. Fitzy came up from League One last season. Had a fantastic season as well in League One. Paul down in 9th. Paul in the Coca-Cola livery as well. Paul obviously I've just had a message pop up. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I won't tell you what it says. Paul is one of our fellow commentators, and let me just have a look. I'm sure he's going to be doing League 3 this year, so if you do head over to, well, he's got it above his head, it's URL_Paul E72, and head over to his YouTube, and you can check out the how the League 3 guys get on. We also have Sean Daniels at Mystery Inc. Racing. He will cover the League 1 guys. Ian on the URL Ultimate Racing League YouTube site is covering League 2, I believe, and John is covering League 4, and he can be found at YouTube. It's Ruthless Rufus. So if you want to see what's going on in the other leagues, if you do check those guys out. So back to this race. So let's go all the way down, and let's have a look from the top then. Bailey still out in front. He's on the racing softs. Now, as I say, a lot of strategy involved in these endurance races. It's when to pit, what tyres to put on. Rules for this one are, as I've said already, you have to run the hard tyres for at least 2 laps. So I'm sure these faster guys are out on the soft tyres for their first stint. Callum on the softs as well. You can see the fronts starting to wear a lot quicker than the back, so I'm sure there'll be a brake balance adjustment at some point from Callum. Neil Farmack also on the softs. Neil just put in a purple sector. As we're coming down to Degner curves, this is like a double right-hander. There's one, there's the other. Smith in 4th, also on the softs. Then we've got Osman softs, we've got Toten softs, Moz softs. In fact, we'll keep going till we find somebody who's not on soft, shall we? There we go, Kenny. So Kenny has braved it. He's on lap 4. Maybe he's going to go a little bit further into this race than the guys on softs. And I thought he might have got rid of them Tylers early, but no, we're on lap 4 and he's still got them on. Grasshopper also on the hards. We've got Derg on softs. Derg must have had a bit of a moment, and I apologise, I've missed that, but he's way down in 14th. With Toby in 15th, we saw what happened to Toby when he come off and went into the gravel, so he's got a bit of an uphill battle on his hands now. So back up to the leader, Bailey. He's still got Callum and Neil Farmack for company, and he just can't get away from them, can he? Bailey and Smith, I believe, are teamed up this season once again. I did nickname them the Cray Twins a couple of seasons back. They did seem to stick together and hunt in pairs. Although there is a bit of a gap between them at the moment. They've got Callum and Neil Farmack in between, but maybe that's the tactics, take 2 of them out at the same time. We shall see. So Bailey just opening up, 1 or 2 car lengths gap between himself and Callum. So Callum, I mean, maybe he's just quite happy to sit there. Neil Farmack in 3rd. As I say, Bailey in 4th. Osman trying to get closer to Smith. Maybe make a move after when they get onto the back straights, if they go around that hairpin for the 5th time onto 200R. I bet that's called 200R because it's 200 metres in length. Up to Spoon Curve. It's a very awkward left-hander. This is very easy to run wide, and then if you get a bit of oversteer going, as you can see, Osman really pushing the limits there. You don't want to get too far out to the right and get on that AstroTurf. Now then, is it full throttle through 130R, or is there a bit of a lift? Remember, all the cars are the same, so it is just down to driver skill. So Toten running in 6th, then we've got Moz in 7th. Now where's Moz? There he is. Then there is a little bit of a gap then back to Inky. Another fantastic livery on Inky's car. I'm not sure who's done the liveries for these guys, whether they've done them themselves. But fantastic looking livery that is that Inky's got on. He's got Paul for company. Paul desperate, don't want to let Inky get any further away. We've got Fitzy in 10th. Seamus Cash just dropping off the pace a little bit from Fitzy. Quite a flowing track this is, but if you do have a bit of a moment, it's very hard to get back into the flow. It's all about consistency, this track. Grasshopper down in 12th, still on the hard tyres though. I'm surprised at that. Maybe they're just looking at doing a one stop. We've just done a race in League 1 and there was quite a few of us actually did a two stop. I did. And it's paid off for me, or I was quite happy with it anyway, but maybe these guys are a lot better on the hard tyres than I am, so I shall not say too much. Derg down in 13th. They're starting to spread out a little bit now. Kenny and Toby chasing each other around. Back up to the race leader. Bailey goes through. He's still got Callum behind him. There is a little bit of a gap. I think I'm not sure if Callum's in the slipstream. I don't think he is. Let's go on board with Callum. As we approach turn 1, we've got Neil Farmack in our mirrors. Around this tricky right-hander. They're all tricky as far as I'm concerned. And then into the S's, turn 2, 3, 4. Just trying to feather that accelerator, just keep the car flowing around these turns. Don't want to go too far onto the left. You can see the kitty litter out there waiting. Callum using every inch of this track and maybe a bit more than through Degner curves. You can see Neil getting really close now, really putting the pressure on Callum up towards the hairpin. Yeah, Callum taking a very defensive tight line there, wasn't going to let Neil have a look, was he? Onto 200 or heading towards Spoon Curve. Again, another tricky turn. You don't want to go too far right, and as I was saying earlier, if you get too much oversteer, you'll end up on that grass. Callum did well though. On the back straight, now full throttle all the way up to 130R. You can see Neil just having a bit of a look up the inside, trying to get in his mirrors. Not drifting too far right. Hard on the brakes into the chicane, taking it easy as you come out. And that's a lap with Callum while we're trying to chase Bailey, and it does look like Bailey's just starting to stretch away a little bit. So let's just go down. We've got Smith in 4th. He's got Osman all over the back of him. Toten in 6th, and then Moz in 7th, and that's that little group there, the top 7. They're all sticking close together, aren't they? Then we've got a gap then back to Inky, and he leads this little group of 3, himself and Paul and Fitzy. Tyres starting to go now. If you have a look bottom left, we're at about 50% on these soft tyres for Inky. Paul's used his a little bit more, so he's given it a bit more on his tyres. Again, they start to wear at the front, so it might be a little bit of a brake balance adjustment. Fitzy, he's about the same as Inky tyre wear, so they're looking after them slightly better than Paul. Oh, you can see Paul getting a bit of a slide there. Good recovery though. Managed to keep it facing the right way as we see CMS Cash go through in 11th. Then we've got Dirk in 12th with Grasshopper just behind in 13th. Now Dirk really is looking after his tyres, although the front are starting to wear now. They do seem a lot better than some of the other guys. And obviously with Grasshopper on hard, he's doing a good job to keep up with Dirk. So when the guys in front start pitting, I think Grasshopper's going to try and stay out. Maybe go a lot further into this race before he does pit. They've obviously done their testing and worked out their tyre wear. I'm probably looking at around, what, 11, 12 laps on the soft tyres. Maybe just a bit more, depending if you look after them or not. Kenny in 14th. And Toby down in 15th, although he has done well to catch up to Kenny, and you can see Toby is on a purple sector now. He has done a 1:59, has got the fastest lap, a 1:59.2, so Toby's not messing about now after that little spill he had on the first lap. And he's just gone purple again, so let's just see if he can do it. A 1:59.2, yes he has. No he hasn't. He got a 1:59.28. Which is faster than his, I'm looking at the times on the right, a 1:59.28, surely he's faster than 1:59.29, but never mind. Bailey out in front, and I think he has opened up a bit of a gap now, back to Callum. Now looking at the tyres, Bailey, he's not doing too bad, he's about 85% wear tyres at the front. Callum, however, has been really punishing them front tyres of his. He's not going to get much more out of them. Remember the red tyre rule, you can only do one lap on the red tyres, so we're on lap 9 and we could start to see a bit of a flurry into the pits. And this is where the guys at the back on the harder tyres can start making some ground up. Let's just see if Callum comes in, or has he decided he's going to make get another lap out of it. I think he's going for another lap. He is. This will definitely be his last lap surely on those tyres. Neil's slightly better on the tyre wear, although not by much. Same with Smith. Fuel's not too bad, so it's not fuel the guys have got to worry about. Osmond the same, so everybody on the soft tyres, they're all starting to wear them down on the front. So it does look like it could be around about 11 laps on the soft tyres. Moz in 7th, Inky 8th, Fitzy 9th. Paul now down to 10th, so we missed that move unfortunately, but Paul down in 10th. Seamus Cash in 11th, having a bit of a lonely race at the minute, as is Dirk. Dirk's last lap was 1:59.9, his best lap was 1:59.7, so the pace is there for Dirk. Grasshopper struggling on the hards to keep up with those guys though. He's doing a 203, 204s, but as I say, he is on the hard tyres, so maybe he's looking to go a lot further into the race as I suggested. Kenny in 14th and then Toby in 15th. So Toby does have the current fastest lap. It's corrected itself now, 1:59.2. Oh, what a bit of a slide there from Toby. Held on to it though. So let's go back up to our race leader. So it looks like right, Neil has managed to get past Callum. So let's have a look where that happened. Had to go back a long way, and it's heading down towards the Degner curves. Neil Formack got himself on the inside as we went round Dunlop, and he did a good move from Neil, and he has got the better tyres as Neil, and that's probably what helped him get round there. Callum front right now totally red, the front left is going to be totally red any second. Neil Formack slightly better on the tyre wear, and same with Bailey, so if he feels comfortable on them, he may even get another lap out of them. Callum definitely won't. As we go around Spoon Curve onto the back straight, foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal all the way up the hill towards 130R, and I'm just going to stick with Callum because I want to see if he's going to pit. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few cars diving in there now as these tyres. Always Smith gets himself a little out of sorts. Just behind, manages to recover though. The cameraman really needs to catch up, so Callum definitely into the pits. So Bailey stays out, Neil Farmack stays out. Smith, Osman, Mars, Toten, they've all stayed out. Callum not even joined his pit crew yet. That's going to drop him way down the order now, although the guys in front will have to pit, so maybe that was Callum's tactics, do the undercut. As we see Inky and Fitzy go through turn 1. I'm pretty sure Paul's going to pit at the end of this lap. So Callum's back out now on the hard tyres in 10th position. Derg in 11th. Then we've got Grasshopper, Kenny and Toby. Seamus Cash has dived into the pits as well and rejoins in 15th and on the hard tyres as well, so it'd be interesting to see how many laps he does on these. It could, like I say, minimum of 2, so he may feel, do me 2 laps, get back out on softs. Oh, Bailey looked like he was taking a little bit more. He's got himself a penalty now then. Why did he get himself a penalty? Let's have a look. So round the hairpin, okay, through the hairpin. Oh, and he's gone off the grey. He just went off, didn't he? What? So let's see what happens here. So Bailey's he just drives off the track. Maybe he was looking at something else, he was trying to make some adjustments or something to the car. I don't know. Is he having some issues? He seems to be all over the place, and this is... something's not right. Something is definitely not right with Bailey. He's not changing gears, he's whether he's had a disconnect from his wheel or something, I'm not sure. Oh, there is definitely some sort of issue going on with Bailey. That is so unfortunate, and I can only guess it is a technical issue with the... oh, and he joins, but oh, that was a dangerous rejoin, and he's disappeared, so I would definitely say he's had some sort of disconnect. That is so unlucky for Bailey. He was leading right from the start. So Neil Farmack dives into the pits. Osman stays out. He decides he can do another lap, so he's going for his 12th lap on the softs. He's really looked after his tyres, paid off for him so far. Same with Moz. So 22, nearly 23 minutes gone of this 25 lap race, just coming up to the halfway mark. We've got Osman out in the lead with Moz just behind. Then we've got Inky in 3rd. Can't really see anybody else at the minute, can Inky? It's a bit lonely out there for him. Callum up to 4th now, so remember he made his stop, which dropped him all the way down to about 9th or 10th, I can't remember now, but because of the pit stops, Callum is back up to 4th. Got a bit of work to do to catch Inky up though, and it does all depend on how many laps Callum wants to do on those hard tyres. I think he may well, looking at his fuel gauge, he may well do the minimum 2. and then gets himself back onto some soft tyres and a full tank of fuel. It'll be the same with Smith. He's only got quarter tank of fuel, so I think it's going to be the same tactics for Smith. He's going to do the mandatory 2 laps, maybe 3, and then in for softs and some more fuel, and he can just see Callum up ahead. So maybe Smith will wait and see what Callum does. So there could be a bit of cat and mouse strategy going on here. Derg not that far behind now in 6th position. Fuel's okay for Derg and tyres, so he may well stay out and do another lap. So Osman's in, Inky's in. Moz has stayed out again. Let's have a look then. So Moz is really pushing these tyres to their limits. He's on lap 13 and he's got quite a good gap at the minute, so maybe this strategy has paid off for Moz. You can hear the tyres screaming as he pushes them through those S's around Dunlop curve and down towards Degner curves. This double right hander under the crossover up towards the hairpin. So Smith now out on the hard tyres in 2nd position. Derg in 3rd, not that far behind Smith, and Derg is on the soft tyres, although he is going to have to pit pretty soon, so maybe having a fight with Smith is not in his best interests. Neil Farmack, he's got a fresh set of soft tyres on in 4th position. I can't remember if Neil's put hard tyres on or not, but he can just see Derg and Smith up ahead. Osman out on a fresh set of softs, and he's not quite filled the tank, but I don't know if he's done the hard tyres yet, I can't remember. Moz has finally pitted as Smith comes up to the chicane, through the chicane, and that's it for the hard tyres for Smith. So Derg now will take the lead, with Neil Farmack going to drop in behind him, or is Moz just comes back out just ahead of Neil Farmack. So let's have a look. Oh, it was a change of tyres, that's all it was for Moz. He's not took any fuel on board, so Moz is going to do his 2 laps with the hard tyres now. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before Neil Farmack is all over the back of him, and of course Moz is going to have to pull into the pits again before Neil Farmack does, so I'm sure it won't be long before Neil takes up the lead of this race, unless Osman can catch up with Neil Farmack and overtake him. So this is where the battle is going to be between Neil and Oz for now. You can see Neil right onto the back of Moz. Yeah, Moz doesn't try and fight that, I don't think. Well, I say that, and he is putting up a bit of a fight, isn't he? As we go around Spoon Curve, it is still Moz. He's pushing it there, open the door, and Neil Farmack steps through it, and it looks like Osman's going to go through as well, and he has. So Neil Farmack takes up that 2nd position, although he's being pushed along and harassed by Osman. both on brand new set of soft tyres. So you can see Derg has pulled into the pit, so Neil takes up the lead of this race. Osman drops into second with Moz third. Now I thought Moz would have come into the pits, but as usual they totally ignore everything I say and keep going. He obviously knows he can get one more lap out of that tank. And I can't remember if this is second. This must be his second lap on the hards as well. So drop down the order. Totem in fourth. It looks like he's on a new set of softs. Another one having a bit of a lonely race at the minute is Totem. Kenny down in fifth. He's going to have to pit this time. You can see the fuel. Well, I say he's going to pit. He probably won't. Everybody else ignores me. As we follow Kenny around Dunlop Curve. Paul in sixth. So Paul has been in. He's got himself a fresh set of softs on. So we can start to push now. Ooh, bit of a twitch there from that Lexus. As Paul tries to get the power down early, around the hairpin he goes. Very easy to lose control on the exit of that hairpin, but Paul keeping it in check. Through 200R up to Spoon Curve is Paul, with Callum not that far behind. Callum onto the softs now. And I'm sure he's hoping he can get to the end of the race on these. So round Spoon Curve and onto the back stretch. Up the hill to 130R for the 15th time for Callum. You can see Paul just ahead. Now as we can see in the top left, Moz has come in and he's going to get rid of them hard tyres. Kenny's also in. So let's just go back up and see what's happening at the front. Neil Farmack has got Osman for company. Osman really trying to pile the pressure on Neil Farmack, trying to force a mistake from him. I've seen Neil on quite a number of races now, and I know that he doesn't really make mistakes. He just seems to soak the pressure up. But Osman's going to keep pushing it. Down towards the hairpin. Now then Neil going very defensive, nice tight line. Don't want to give Osman any opportunity, does he? Let's go on board with Osman as we follow Neil Farmack down towards Spoon Curve. This long left-hander before getting onto the back straight, getting the power down. I'm trying to get in a slipstream. Is Osman. Can't quite get it done. A little lift of the accelerator as they hit 130R. Then hard on the brakes before hitting that chicane. Again, very easy to spin out just there, but these guys making it look so easy. Toten now in third with the pit stops. Toten a very quick driver. We know he's a very quick driver. He's actually leading the Wednesday league at the minute, the multi-class, where we see the GR1 cars and the GR3 cars on track at the same time. Toten obviously in a GR1 car and is running away with that championship at the minute. Doesn't look like he's going to get stopped. So he is a quick driver. Fastest thing to come out of Hungary. currently in third, and got a nice bit of breathing space behind him, and clean air in front, so you can see his last lap was 1:59.9, so he is on the same pace as Toby, really. So yeah, Toten really getting his foot down. Paul now in fourth. Oh, it's Callum, another big slide. So Callum really pushing it, isn't he? He's desperate to get that fourth position away from Paul. Another slide from Paul. Callum a bit twitchy on the exit as well, as the guys get the power down out of that that corner. I'm sure Paul will be looking in his mirror and see that he's got Callum chasing him. Trying to keep it nice and tight through there. Now, who gets the best exit? Callum definitely in the slipstream of Paul. As we go up through the back straight towards 130R, Callum not quite close enough to get it done there. Is he going to have a look before they get to the chicane? No, does the wise thing, just backs out slightly. That was a great shot there, wasn't it, as the pair of them go over the curb of that chicane exit. Now Callum, can he get close enough to make a move before they get to turn one? He's having a look, isn't he? He just gets himself on the inside. A bit later on the brakes, not a lot Paul could do there. And Callum goes through to take fourth. That was a good clean overtake. Well done Callum, and well done Paul actually for giving him the room. I was going to say let's have a look at Smith, but he disappeared completely then, so Smith down in sixth. Dirk in seventh. Toby made his way up to eighth after his spill in the first lap, so Toby having a good recovery. Then we've got Moores in ninth. Of course we've lost Bailey, haven't we, due to some sort of technical difficulties. He's had to retire, which is a real shame. But Moores down in ninth. You could just see the cars up ahead. Can't see anything behind him. It does look like it's his teammate though, Fitzy. So Fitzy in 10th. Then we've got Inky in 11th, Kenny 12th, Grasshopper down in 13th with Seamus Cash in 14th. And back up to our leader, Neil Farmack, still out in front. Still got Osman for company, although there is a bit of a gap now. Only by a few car lengths, but I'm sure it's a breathing space for Neil. So let's just have a look at the tyres again. So Neil is about just coming up to 50% wear on the front tyres. Osman pretty much the same, so these two matching each other. On the tyres, let's have a look at pace as well. Neil is a constant 159. Osman, yeah, pretty much the same. So yeah, these two matching each other. Toten is not far off, maybe a few tenths slower, but still sits in very comfortably in third. I'm sure he won't be complaining though that with the first race of the season. Tyres maybe just over 50% for Toten, with 6 laps to go, so he's going to have to nurse them if he doesn't want to make any more stops. Same with Callum, he's got to look after them tyres with 6 laps to go. Sitting in 4th, Paul in 5th. Another one, going to have to look after his tyres. Currently doing well though in 5th. He'll be pleased with that. Now Smith down in 6th. He's doing about the 1:59s to 2 minute laps. So the pace pretty much the same throughout the field. Dirk is currently in 7th. He's doing steady 1:59s now. His last 3 laps 1:59s. So Dirk's starting to pick up the pace now. He is on the soft tyres as well. It looks like everybody decided to get rid of the hard tyres during the race rather than at the end. At least I think. I can't think of anybody that's held on to them. Moz in 9th. He looks like he's on a fresh set of softs. They look a lot better than most people's. His last 3 laps been 1:59s as well, so Moz is on the pace. Although currently in 9th, I'm sure it won't be long before he's right at the back of Toby. Inky down in 10th. He's got Fitzy for company. And then not too far behind is Kenny in 12th. Grasshopper never really got going, did he, in this race? I'm not sure if it's the track or the car. We know Grasshopper is capable of some great things. He's a very quick guy, Grasshopper. Just never really got going in this race. I'm sure though we shall see all that change in future races. Is that SpongeBob all over his car? I think it is a SpongeBob car. Let's just have a look. Yeah, big SpongeBob on the bonnet. I'm sure that'll put you off while you're driving. Fantastic looking livery though. Can't get the camera sorted out. Then Seamus Cash down in 14th. So up to our leader Neil Farmack. He just cannot get rid of Osman, can he? In fact, Osman is now right at the chuff of Neil Farmack, and he is putting him under all sorts of pressure. Osman slightly better tyre wear. This is going to get interesting. We are on lap 21 of 25. It is a race between these two. I don't think Toten's going to catch up with them, or anybody else for that matter, unless one of these guys has to pit. So Neil Farmack, quarter of a tank of fuel. Tyres are looking a bit worn. Osman is about the same for fuel. His tyres looking slightly better, but not by much. As they take Spoon Curve and onto the back straights, let's see if Osman is close enough to make a move on Neil Farmack. Let's have a look. He's in the slipstream, but it's whether he decides to have a go for it or not. I don't think he's going to get there just as they approach 130 out. No, he's not. Oh, he's gone wide. Osman's gone wide. He's managed to get back on though and recover very quickly. He did well to keep that going in a straight line, did Osman. Stays in second, although he's got a bit of work to do to get right up to the back of Neil again. Toten in third. Oh, his tyres now. If you have a look at those front tyres of Toten, we are on lap 22, so 4 laps, including this one, 4 laps to go. I'm not sure those tyres are going to last. So Toten could end up making a bit of a pit stop. Talking of tyres, let's have a look at Now it could be Neil and Osman, both could end up making a pit stop. The rule with the red tyres is you can only do one lap on the red tyres. So maybe these guys are kind of hoping that one lap will be their last lap. Let's just go down the order then. Callum, another one, struggling for tyres. I don't think Callum's going to make them last. Currently sitting in 4th. Paul's still sitting in 5th. His tyres are looking a bit worse for wear as well. But Paul currently in 5th. They'll be pleased with that. Although he could come unstuck if he has to pit. Now Dirk looked after his tyres a little bit better. In 6th. Then we've got Toby in 7th. He's had a fantastic recovery race, hasn't he, as Toby, considering the disaster he had on the first lap with the hard tyres. He's got Moz just behind, putting the pressure on. Toby really pushing the limits. Oh, and Oz has had to come in. So Oz into the pits. Neil Formack stays out. So Oz is in. Toten is in as well. Now then, will Callum come in? No. Callum has decided to stay out, although he will have to pit at the end of this lap. So it is going to be all change at the top. You can see Osman just coming out. Oh, he just... Callum just goes by. Oh, Callum's gone off. Let's just go back and see what happened to Callum. So Callum going down the start finish straight. We can just see Osman comes out of the pits. I think Callum was just a little bit too late on the brakes. He was aware that Osman had come out of the pits, and I think Callum just wanted to avoid him and got on the brakes a bit too late, and that's cost him. So Osman retakes that second position. Paul now all over the back of Callum, putting him under pressure. Callum's tyres are about gone, Paul's tyres are about gone. We've got Dirk just sitting behind. He should be able to make it to the end of the race on these tyres, so Dirk could nick a podium spot here. If we go back up to our race leader now, Neil Formack will have to pit, so this could be Osman's race. Osman did the undercut, he's gone on to the hard, so it is Osman. Osman was the one of the guys saving the hard tyres for the end of the race. Now maybe this strategy has paid off for him. Currently in second. There is quite a gap back to Neil Formack, but Neil Formack is definitely going to have to pit this lap. As he goes through the hairpin. And he is pitted. I thought he was going to make me out to be another liar then. As Osman comes up to 130R and through, Neil Formack still sitting in the pits waiting for that tyre change. He's not arrived. The mechanic's just sitting there wondering if he got lost. He's just turned up. Fresh set of tyres and a splash of fuel, and he is back out. Now then, where's Osman? Osman just going past the pit exit, and it looks like Neil Formack's got out ahead of him. Just so Neil is now in the lead with Osman just sitting behind him. Osman's tyres slightly warmer though, so both on the hard tyres. Neil with a fresh set, but Osman is a lap older. but should be warmed up, so it's going to be a great finish for them too, I'm sure. They're on lap 24, so 2 more including this one to go. Callum now in third, although he is definitely going to have to pit. He is on red tyres and he is being properly mugged by everybody. Derg's in there, Toby's in there, Moz is in there. Callum just holding them all up. You can see Moz trying to make a move on Derg. Toby goes through. Toby's going to get this done, is he, before the hairpin? It looks like he is. Yes, he is. Great move from Toby. Managed to push past them all. Get himself into that third podium spot. Callum's still there, although Moz is definitely going to take that away from him, I'm sure. Callum now running on red tyres. Moz trying the cutback as they go around Spoon Curve. Derg just sitting there. He's going to latch onto the back of them and try and get into the slipstream, and who's going to pull him through? Callum still fighting with Moz. Up to 130R. Are they going to go too wide? No, Callum seems to get himself on the grass. Recovered. He's now side by side with Derg. Moz has got through. Derg and Callum into the chicane. Now Callum surely has got to come into the pits. No, he's not. Callum is determined to stay out. He has got nothing left on the front tyres at all. Derg about, I don't know, I can't say, 75%, 80% of his tyres are worn, but he has got a bit left. Moz is this is the last lap. His fuel lights flashing. Let's go back up to our leader, Neil Farmack. He's managed to open up a bit of a gap back to Osman, so it could be this is how they're going to finish this race. Osman has given everything to take that spot away from Neil Farmack. Both in danger of actually running out of fuel as Neil takes us through the hairpin for the last time. Osman just behind him. Toby, what a fantastic drive from Toby. Started at the back. He had a spill in the first lap, first or second lap, and found himself all the way at the back, and has made himself put himself up on that third podium spot. So well done to Toby. That's if he can stay there. He's got Moz and Derg both chasing him down, but we're going to have to go back up to our leader, Neil Farmack, as he goes through 130R for the last time, keeping it on the tarmac into the chicane. And what a great race Neil Farmack's had. His tactics have paid off. Well done to Neil for taking the win. Osman in second position. Great race from him. Toby, fantastic result for Toby in third. Moz fourth. Derg in fifth. Callum in sixth. Toten seventh. Inky 8th. Fitzy in 9th with Smith 10th. Kenny 11th. Paul, unfortunately, down in 12th, so the strategy didn't work for Paul. Grasshopper, as I said before, never really got going in this race, takes 13th, and same as Cash in 14th. But a great start to this season. Unlucky for Bailey. Well done to Neil Farmack. Hopefully you can join us next week. We'll be at Deep Forest on the reverse track, and it is a sprint race, so there will be 2 30-minute races next week at Deep Forest Reverse, so hopefully you can join us for that. I shall catch everybody soon.